Makes a couple defenders miss. Junior Flemings! Jamaica have surely won it!
It may only be the second match, it may only be Guadeloupe, but this is already a do-or-die match for the Reggae Boyz. Yeah, people, welcome back to the JPL Fan, and we're here to preview our second match of the Gold Cup against Guadeloupe. We had some days now to reflect on the shock defeat to Guatemala on Monday night, and the major takeaway that we got from that game is that the midfield really needs some sorting out. We now know that Hayden is completely gone from camp, and it also seems that Bobby Reed is not fit enough to contribute in this tournament. We also know that we got two replacement midfielders in Sule McCullough and Karai Anderson, but what we still don't know who should be the starting number 6 in time for this match. It's currently a raging debate, and I have heard all sides of the argument, from people saying that John Russell should play as a 6 to even Palmer playing back there to help Jamaica control the ball better in the middle of the park. In my opinion, I just can't see Steve McLaren playing Russell as the 6. Yes, I know he has experience in that position before, but during those days, he was not really being called up to the national team, as Steve McLaren and the rest of the coaching staff believe he lacked mobility when he's playing that role. More importantly, I just feel that McLaren really likes him in the box to create another threat from midfield, and we don't have a like-for-like replacement for that in the team currently. So I don't see him moving from the 8th position. So the question remains still in the air: who do we play at the 6th role, especially against a team like Guadeloupe, where we're expected to have majority of the possession? In theory, Palmer playing there could work, or even Karai Anderson, as they both do well in possession, but it would be a weird thing to call up a specialist CDM to replace Hayden and not play him in a match like this. And yes, I can hear your concerns typing on the keyboard as I speak. You're not too confident about playing Sule McCullough in a do-or-die match, and I can understand where you're coming from, but again, it does seem odd to me that you would call up a specialist CDM to replace the one that left the camp and just simply not play him. We also have the option to change the shape a bit. Instead of keeping that very attacking 4-3-3, we can always switch to a double pivot in a 4-2-3-1 and play Russell a bit deeper alongside somebody like Palmer. But again, this is a game we'll have to win, and this is a game we're going to need goals, so I would prefer the more attacking setup that we're currently using. There are also other positions of concern on the pitch as well. Do we keep Gray as a number 10? He didn't look all that well against Guatemala, but again, this is a match we're expecting to have majority of the possession, so maybe he gets another chance right there. Despite Antonio coming off the bench last time, I feel like Warner Brown will get another shot up the striker's role, but if he doesn't have any major impacts on the match, expect him to be changed within 45 or 50 minutes. Then we have to talk about the back line as well. We saw Lowe limp out of the last match injured. At this time of recording, we do not know the health status of him if he's able to start the next match, so it's most likely going to be King and Pinnock once again to start in the back line. We may see Greg Lee come in at left back as well, because again, we want to go attacking, and he is more attacking compared to Bell, and we can say the same thing on the right hand side as well, as I believe Dexter Lembekisa, based on his performance in that second half against Guatemala, deserve to come back in for this match. But what about their opponents, Guadeloupe? So of course, since they're not an official member of FIFA, they do not play World Cup qualifiers and only partake in Concacaf competitions, so we don't really have much on the current squad that they have. Majority of our knowledge, of course, comes from their first game in that 5-2 loss to Panama. But what we do know, they treat this competition as if it is their World Cup and are normally very competitive. We know this for ourselves, of course, because we did face them at this stage in 2021 when a late goal from Fleming spared our blushes to barely get past them then, so we can't take them too lightly now. Traditionally, they are a team that likes to go forward, so I don't expect them to lock up shop like what we saw against BVI. But after shipping 4 goals in less than 30 minutes against Panama, I expect them to be much more cagey to start this match against the Jamaicans. And this is where we really need to take advantage. We need to settle into the game very quickly and then look to impose our dominance on a team like this right after that. It's about time we really show some class and dominate a smaller team. I would like to see more of a collective effort in the attack, more than just some individual brilliance, and I would like to see more of a collective identity, especially when it comes to our attack. I also want to see us pressing a bit more, being a bit more aggressive when we don't have the ball, basically showing just how hungry we are for these 3 points. Because we need to get some form of confidence back into the team and into the fan base, so a dominant display against Guadeloupe would go a long way. Alright, but now let's look at the key players for the match from both teams, starting with Jonathan Russell of the Reggae Boyz. Again, will he play the 6 or remain as the 8? Regardless, with Hayden not being there, he's now the main man in that midfield, and he has to be the one, and he would have to show some leadership to really pull them together. He has to choose the right moments to when to be in the box or when to float back a bit deeper and collect the ball and get the attack flowing. So I'm definitely intrigued to see how he handles things come tomorrow. The other player I want to highlight is Demarai Gray. He didn't really have much of an influence in that Guatemala game, but if he gets another start as the number 10, he has to have a dominant performance to really justify his continued inclusion in the starting lineup. Plain and simple, he has to do more in terms of goal contributes in the run of play. The same thing is going to be said for my last player I'm going to look at, and that's Leon Bailey. He's supposed to be this team's superstar. He's supposed to be the one player that every opposing team fear, and he is long overdue for a really dominant performance for Jamaica. We saw glimpses of what he can bring to the team in that match against Guatemala in Kingston, but I was a bit disappointed with his performance in the match at LA. So against a smaller team like this, who is going to look to probably keep things a bit compact, he has to show that he is the special player and do special things. Alright, now moving on to the Guadeloupe team. Again, we don't have too much information to work on, but based on their recent records as well as what they display against Panama, here are their 3 key players. Their defense don't seem to be the greatest, but they do have one very experienced player there at left back, and that's Jerome Resilian, who plays in the German Bundesliga for Union Berlin, and he is a very attacking full back, and he doesn't exactly like to stay at home to help out defense much. He likes to bomb down the left hand side, so look for him, especially on counters when they try to come forward. The other player I want to highlight here is basically their number 10, Jordan Lebon, a 29-year-old who plies his trade in the lower divisions of France, who is a good technician on the ball and can pull off decent long-range shots on target. So he's another attacking threat to keep an eye on. And finally, we have to look at their starting number 9, Thierry Ambrose, who's a starting centre forward from the Belgium First Division. He too will be their main attacking threat against the Reggae Boyz. Alright, now for the predicted start 11. Of course, Andre Blake will be in goal. I think Dexter Lebakisa will come back at right back. I think it will be Pinnock and King again as a centre back pairing. And I also believe Craig Lee will get a chance at left back. Again, it's very difficult to predict who Steve McLaren will have as the CDM, but for now, I will put Sule McCullough right there alongside Russell and Gray in the middle of the park. Then on the flanks, it will be Bailey and Cephas again. Surely this is their last chance to impress, as well as Warner Brown will get at least 45 minutes to get some goals up front. But that's it for the previous show. Let me know in the comment section below who you think should be the one to play that CDM role, as well as for your predicted score for the match tomorrow. Otherwise, thank you all again for watching, and please like, subscribe and share as we look to keep you all updated on everything on the Reggae Boyz all the way through the Gold Cup. Otherwise, for great Reggae Boyz content, you're already at the right place, Jamaican fan. YouTube, big up yourself.